Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Kamusta na po kayo? Dito tayo sa MA Pinoy TV. Subukan nga natin. Matagal na akong hindi nakakapag-live dito eh. Pero hintayin ko kayo kung pwede kayong sumama sa akin ngayong umaga kasi meron po akong gustong iparinig sa inyo. Napakaganda ng pagkakaisa na ginawa ng Kongreso. May resolution na, may mga speech pa na nagdideklara ng suporta kay Pangulong Marcos. Kaya maganda sana ito. Hopefully ay ano kaya? Okay, tayo kaya marinig dyan. Tingnan natin kung paano. Try lang natin kasi matagal-tagal na rin tayong hindi nakakapag-live dito pero kailangan nating makakita. Okay? Dito sa ating kabilang channel. Ito yung MA Pinoy TV. Naririnig naman siguro nyo ako, no? Na-monitor nyo, di ba? So, tingnan natin. At meron akong gustong iparinig importante hong marinig ninyo. Importante hong makita nyo ang anong tawag dyan? Etong magagandang sinabi ng ating mga mambabatas. Nakakataba din ng puso ito dahil sila'y nagkakaroon ng ganyang pagkakaisa. At na makakatulong ito ng malaki para sa inyong doon sa mga nag-aalala, mga nagdududa, mga alam mo na, nangangamba sa kaligtasan, katatagan ng ating administrasyon under President Marcos Jr. Okay? Di ba? Weng, salamat po. Good morning. Kasi morning pa rin sa Pilipinas. Opelia Neri, salamat. Maria Ana Nimpa Okawa. Ayan. Salamat po from Japan. Ronald Quisada. Ayan. Nandito rin po kayo. Okay? So, tulad na sinabi ko, dito po sa MA Pinoy TV, tayo ay nag-try po na mag-live kasi may kaunting oras tayo na pwede nating ibigay para magkasama-sama tayo. Ka-loyal Richie, salamat. Si 25. Okay, salamat. Good morning. Jay Salazar. Ayun. Good morning. Good afternoon. May gusto akong iparinig sa inyo Medyo mahaba-haba ito pero pagtyaga natin. Kaya lang, ang inaalala ko, baka maiyak kayo rito. Nakakaiyak yung mga talumpati at pagdedeklara ng suporta ng mga congressman kay Pangulong Marcos. Di ba? Di ba? Yun Okay? Good afternoon. Salamat. Merong aga naman itong troll na ito. Itong JJ na ito. Mukhang ito ko. Kaya mga baliw ito. Meron kaagad na troll dito na hindi naman kailangan. Bakit nandito? Alex Nieves, salamat. Abes, di ba? Okay? Cherry Hulgado. Ayun, salamat. Sirlita, salamat. Marilyn Harabata. Ayun. Okay. Eto na. Ipaparinig ko po sa inyo etong para natin i-describe ito. Pagdeklara ng suporta ng Kongreso kay Pangulong Marcos. Dahil nga ho sa mga sinabi ni Sara Duterte na nag-uutos siya para sa buhay ng Pangulo, First Lady, at saka po Speaker of the House. At dahil dyan, ipinakita po ng mga kongresista ang kanilang kapangyarihan, kanilang pagkakaisa, at mahigpit na pagbatikos na rin at kundina doon sa mga sinasabi ng ni Sara Duterte. Talaga naman hong karumal-dumal yung statement na ginawa Pakinggan po natin ito.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider House Resolution number 2092. And for this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of this House Resolution.
The Secretary General is hereby directed.
Meron ng resolution, pinagtibay. Pag-support.
Resolution expressing the unwavering and unqualified support and solidarity of the House of Representatives to the leadership of His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and the Honorable Speaker
Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, in the face of serious and dangerous remarks and defiant acts that threaten the very foundations of democratic governance, the rule of law, public trust, and the integrity of government institutions.
Yan, no? Ganda na.
Maraming salamat, Secretary General.
Ganda na resolution.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that to recognize the Honorable Senior Deputy Speaker, Aurelio Dong G. D. Gonzales, to deliver his sponsorship speech.
Our Senior Deputy Speaker, Don Gonzales, is hereby recognized. Please proceed.
Ano?
SDS.
Maiiyak dito mga Marcos loyalists sa mga speech na ito.
The Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride and honor and a sense of duty that I rise today in this august chamber to sponsor and support House Resolution number 2092, expressing the unwavering and unqualified support and solidarity of the House of Representatives to the leadership of His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and the Honorable Speaker Ferdinand Martin Gomez Romualdez. In the face of serious and dangerous remarks and defiant acts that threaten the very foundation of democratic governance, rule of law, public trust, and integrity of government institutions. The importance of this resolution cannot be overstated. As members of this honorable and highly esteemed institution, it is our responsibility to uphold the dignity, honor, and integrity of the House of Representatives. In doing so, we must also express our collective solidarity with our leaders who stand at the forefront of defending our democratic institutions and the rule of law. Recent events have brought to light conduct and statements that not only threaten the dignity of this chamber, but also compromise national security and public trust in our government, Mr. Speaker. These include actions that defy protocols, undermine accountability, and most alarmingly, the threats to the very lives of our leader, His Excellency President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., the First Lady, Mrs. Liza Araneta Marcos, and our beloved Speaker Ferdinand Martin Gomez Romualdez. Speaker Romualdez has displayed exemplary leadership and unwavering resolve in defending this institution against those who seek to weaken it. His swift and decisive response to these serious threats is a testament to his commitment to upholding the principles of democratic governance and the rule of law. Under the leadership of Speaker Romualdez, this chamber has demonstrated unity, dynamism, and effectiveness in performing its mandate. We have passed crucial legislations that support the priorities of the administration and address the needs of our constituents. These successes show that with a stalwart leader like Speaker Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, this institution can withstand any obstacle and remain a pillar of democracy. Moreover, the leadership of President Ferdinand
Sige po,
Romualdez
pakinggan lang po ninyo
Marcos
pakinggan lang natin.
continues to guide our nation toward progress and stability. His vision for a
Okay,
strong and
ayos lang po
united
natin, ha?
Philippines
Tuloy-tuloy lang
is
po yan.
evident in the administration achievement. It is our duties as legislators to rally behind our President in defending the interests of the Filipino people and safeguarding the future of our democratic institution. Mr. Speaker, in this spirit, I call upon each and every one of you, my esteemed colleagues, to support the immediate adoption of House Resolution number 2092, to support the immediate adoption of House Resolution number 2092. Let us show the nation that we stand united behind our leadership and in defense of the sacred principles of democracy, accountability, and the rule of law. Dakal pong salamat, mabuhay si Presidente Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr.
Abangan nyo na, sunod-sunod po yan. Ilang congressman yan.
Ferdinand Gomez Romualdez, mabuhay ang mababang kabulungan at maraming salamat po, Luidia, Ing Pilipinas. Dakal pong salamat, maya pagkatpanapot po kay Kayuman.
Mabuhay, Senior Deputy Speaker Aurelio Dong D. Gonzales. Maraming salamat, sir. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Majority Leader, Manuel Jose Manix M. Dalipe, to deliver his sponsorship speech.
To our Majority Leader, Manuel Jose Manix M. Dalipe. Please proceed, sir.
Honorable Speaker, esteemed members of the House, good afternoon. I rise today to express my unwavering support for the House of Representatives and our Speaker, the Honorable Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, in the light of the recent events faced by our institution. The House of Representatives stands as a cornerstone of this nation's democracy. As we carry out our mandate and stand to uphold the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, we operate on established rules and procedures to ensure transparency, accountability, and order within our walls and beyond. Over the past few days, we witnessed the blatant disregard for these rules and protocols by no less than the second highest official of the land. I take this opportunity to reiterate that this august chamber must be accorded the honor and dignity befitting its status as the House of the People. To disrespect this chamber is to disrespect the people we represent. No public official, regardless of rank, position, should consider itself above and beyond the 100 million strong Filipino people by obstructing the lawful proceedings and orders of the House. The wanton breach of protocol, the use of vindictive language, and the threat of harm aimed at the leaders of our country show a deep and encompassing disrespect for the rule of law and democratic institutions that we have sworn to protect. Mr. Speaker, I believe we can do better. We must remember that our actions set the tone of public governance in this country. I applaud President Marcos and Speaker Romualdez for their patience, restraint, and ability to rise above the fray by blocking out the external noise and focusing on the work that needs to be done. I urge all of us to follow their example. Let us continue to do our work, no matter the obstacles put in our path, and remember that it is in our collective strength that we have achieved all our legislative goals and more. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay ang ating mahal na Pangulo, Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Mabuhay ang ating House Speaker, Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
When the Christmas season begins,
Yeah.
take my advice.
Talaga,
If there is
yan
someone
yung
hot-tempered in the house,
Sandali
we
at ano lang ho. Yun yung mga bagay na kailangan pong, anong tawag dito, maintindihan natin kasi po ang paninindigan ng House of Representatives o ang mababang kapulungan ay pinakita nila. Nagkakaisa sila para suportahan ang ating administrasyon dahil nga po yung sinabi ni Sara Duterte ay kakaiba, talagang naiiba. Siya lang po ang gumawa niyang matinding statement at pahayag tungkol sa buhay ng ating Pangulo at ang Speaker of the House. Kaya tama lang po na ang mga congressman ay gumawa ng ganyan. Nag-approve ng resolution sa plenaryo para ho magdeklara ng support kay Pangulong Marcos at ginagawa nga nila ay, anong tawag dito, nagkakaroon po sila ng mga kanya-kanyang statement po. Statement of support, declaration of support ng mga mambabatas. No? Ang ganda pong tingnan at ang kasarap pakinggan. Kaya sabi ko nga baka maiyak yung mga original na Marcos loyalists. Kasi itong pagdideklara ng support ng Kongreso ay talagang tagos sa kaisipan at puso ng ating mga kababayang mga supporters na Marcos. Dahil nga po sa tindi ng pinagdadaanan ng Pangulong Marcos kasi nga buhay niya at buhay ng First Lady, buhay ng Speaker ang pinagbantaan. Hindi lang banta, pinagagawa pang talagang pakialaman itong kampo ni Duterte. Kaya nga po talagang maiiyak at nakakagalit, nakakaiyak yung paggaritong mapapakinggan mo ng deklarasyon ng support. Ano nga? At yan po naman ay masasabi nating obligasyon at karapatan na rin. Okay, sandali ha, meron pang susunod dyan eh. Marami ho yung nagsalitang yan eh.
Maraming salamat, Majority Leader Manuel Jose Manex M. Dalipe.
Sandali natin yung iba pa.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that you recognize Deputy Speaker David J.J.C. Suarez for his manifestation.
Ayan o.
Deputy Speaker in the Province of Quezon, Congressperson J. Suarez. You're recognized, sir. Please proceed.
Ayan o.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues,
Ayan o.
I rise today in utter disbelief and righteous indignation over the Vice President of the Republic, Sara Duterte, admitting that she has contacted an assassin to kill none other than President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., First Lady Luis Araneta Marcos, and our beloved Speaker, Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez. Mr. Speaker, this is no trivial matter. This is not an offhand remark that can be swept under the rug. This is an admission by the second highest official in the land of a premeditated intent to harm the highest leaders of our government. This is a direct attack on the presidency, on this House, and on the very foundations of our democracy. Let us call this what it is: treachery in the highest order. It is a betrayal not just of the president and this institution, but of every single Filipino who entrusted her with power. How can someone sworn to uphold the Constitution and protect the people conspire to commit such an act of unthinkable violence? How can the Vice President, who is expected to be a unifying figure, admit to plotting an act that could destabilize the entire nation? Mr. Speaker, let us not be deceived by any attempts to downplay or justify this admission. This is not about personal grievances or political rivalry. This is a threat to our national security, our democratic processes, and the rule of law. For the Vice President to even contemplate such actions is a gross abuse of power and betrayal of the office she holds. Mr. Speaker, we must act. and we must act now. How can the Filipino people trust a leader admits to contracting an assassin? How can we continue to allow someone of such dangerous tendencies to occupy one of the highest positions in the land? This is not a question of leadership. It is a question of morality, of accountability, and the survival of our democracy. The House must take immediate action. We cannot simply express our outrage and move on. We must call for a full investigation into the Vice President's admissions, not just for the sake of justice, but to protect the integrity of our institutions and to ensure the safety of our leaders. Mr. Speaker, the behavior cannot just be tolerated. This is not about politics. This is about the survival of our democracy and the safety of our people. We demand answers. We demand accountability. And we demand that the Vice President face the full force of the law for her actions.
Wow.
Let this House stand united
Tindi, ano?
in defense of our democracy.
Galit na mga
Our
congressman.
leaders, our people. We cannot and will not allow anyone, even the Vice President, threaten the very foundation of this republic. Maraming salamat.
Tindi, ano? Ayan o, damdamin po yan ng mga mambabatas na kinatawa ng iba-ibang distrito sa buong bansa.
David J.J. Suarez.
Talaga hong naglabas sila ng sama ng loob.
Mr. Speaker, I move that you recognize the Honorable Albert S. Garcia of the 2nd District of Bataan
Iba-ibang
for his
distrito.
manifestation.
The gentleman from the 2nd District of Bataan, Representative Albert S. Garcia, is recognized.
Ayan o.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I rise today with a deep sense of indignation and disbelief over the shocking admission made by Vice President Sara Duterte that she had contacted an assassin to target none other than His Excellency President R. Marcos Jr., First Lady Luis Araneta Marcos, and our esteemed Speaker, Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez. Let us pause for a moment, Mr. Speaker, to reflect on the gravity of this revelation. The second highest official of the land, someone who took an oath to protect and uphold the Constitution, has admitted to contemplating violence against the very people she's sworn to serve alongside. This is not just alarming, it is a betrayal of public trust and an affront to our democratic values and a threat to the stability of our nation. Mr. Speaker, how can we as representatives of the Filipino people stand silent in the face of such a heinous admission? The Vice President's statement are not only a direct threat to the lives of our leaders, but a dangerous precedent that undermines the very foundation of our democratic governance. If someone in her position feels emboldened to admit to such acts, what message does this send to the public? That power can be wielded without accountability? That the rule of law can be disregarded with impunity? Mr. Speaker, this House has a solemn duty to ensure that no one, no matter how high his or her position, stands above the law. The Vice President's action demand not just condemnation, but thorough investigation. This is not just about politics. This is about justice, accountability, and the preservation of our nation's dignity. Let me be clear, there is no place in our government, in our democracy, for such reckless and dangerous behavior. The office of the Vice President should embody integrity and leadership, not serve as a platform for threats and violence. The Filipino people deserve better, Mr. Speaker. They deserve leaders who inspire trust, who uphold the rule of law, and who work tirelessly to serve the nation with honor and dignity. This House must take a stand. We must demand a full accounting of the Vice President's action and hold her to the highest standards of accountability. Anything less would be a disservice to the principles we swore to uphold and to the Filipino people we serve. Mr. Speaker, let us send a clear and unequivocal message. This House will not tolerate threats to our democracy, our leaders, or our people. We will defend the rule of law and ensure that justice prevails. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker.
Congressman Garcia ng Bataan yan, mga kaibigan.
Maraming salamat.
Anak na dating Congressman Ted Garcia.
Garcia, 2nd District of Bataan. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Wilfrido Mark M. Enverga of the 1st District of Quezon to deliver his manifestation.
Iba-ibang lugar po yan
Gentleman from
ng
the 1st
Pilipinas,
District of Quezon,
mga congressman.
Representative Wilfredo
Nagdideklara ng
Mark
support.
M. Enverga.
Thank
You have
you
the
very
floor,
much.
sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I rise today to firmly and unequivocally defend the integrity, honor, and exemplary leadership of our esteemed Speaker, Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, against the baseless and malicious accusations hurled by Vice President Sara Duterte. First, let us confront the outrageous claim that the Speaker, a man who has dedicated his life to public service and the betterment of Filipino people, harbored any intent to harm the Vice President. Mr. Speaker, such allegations are not only preposterous, they are designed to distract and divide. They lack even a shred of evidence and are nothing more than a desperate attempt to tarnish the Speaker's reputation. Our Speaker has consistently demonstrated his commitment to democratic governance, transparency, and public service. Under his leadership, this House has passed landmark legislation to uplift the lives of our fellow Filipinos, recover from economic challenges, and ensure national security. These are the actions of a leader who serves with integrity and purpose, not one who engages in petty, baseless conspiracies. Second, let us address the Vice President's claim that the Speaker is involved in illicit activities. Mr. Speaker, these accusations are as hollow as they are reckless. They are not supported by facts, evidence, or any credible source. They are only to sow mistrust and undermine the Speaker's hard-earned credibility. Let us be clear. This House will not allow baseless mudslinging to derail our mission of serving the people. What drives these accusations, Mr. Speaker? Is it political ambition? Or is it simply a refusal to accept the Speaker's growing stature as a unifying and decisive leader? Whatever the motive, one thing is clear. These attacks do not reflect on Speaker's character. They reflect on desperation of those who make them. Mr. Speaker, the Filipino people deserve leaders who focus on solutions, not divisiveness, on progress, and not lies. Speaker Romualdez embodies these values. He has guided this House with wisdom, fairness, and a steadfast dedication to the people we serve. His record speaks for itself, and no amount of baseless accusations can erase the accomplishments he has achieved for this nation. In closing, let me say this: the truth will always prevail over lies. This House stands firmly behind Speaker Romualdez, not just because he is our leader, but because he represents the values of integrity, accountability, and service that we all aspire to uphold. We will not be swayed by baseless attacks, and we will continue to stand united in our commitment to serving the Filipino people. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker.
Yun, oh.
Maraming salamat.
Congressman Enverga.
Maraming salamat. First District, Quezon, Representative Wilfredo Rido, Mark M. Enverga. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to recognize the Honorable Robert Ace
Surigao.
S. Barbers,
Surigao.
the 2nd District of Surigao del Norte, for his
Overall chairman ng
manifestation.
Quadcom.
The gentleman of the 2nd District of Surigao del Norte, Representative Robert Ace S. Barbers. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, esteemed colleagues, I rise today not only to defend the honor of this House, but to uphold the integrity and unwavering leadership of our Speaker, Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, against the baseless accusations made by the Vice President Sara Duterte. These accusations that our Speaker intended to harm her or that he is involved in illicit activities are nothing but unfounded and irresponsible allegations meant to distract and discredit. First, Mr. Speaker, let us recognize the kind of leadership Speaker Romualdez has exemplified. Under his stewardship, this House has worked tirelessly to pass transformative legislation that directly impacts the lives of millions of Filipinos. From championing economic recovery measures to addressing pressing national security concerns, the Speaker's vision and decisive leadership have steered this chamber toward progress and stability. These are the qualities of a statesman, one who places the nation's welfare above all else. Second, Mr. Speaker, let us consider the gravity of the accusations hurled against him. To accuse someone of plotting harm or engaging in illicit activities without a shred of evidence is not only reckless but dangerous. Such baseless statements undermine the very fabric of our democratic institutions. They erode public trust and divert attention from the real issues our nation faces. These allegations, Mr. Speaker, are nothing more than a desperate attempt to smear the reputation of a man who has consistently demonstrated his commitment to serving the Filipino people. If there were any truth to these claims, let them be backed by credible evidence. But what we see here is not evidence. It is mere noise, crafted to create division and chaos where unity and focus are most needed. Let us also ask, why is the Speaker being targeted? Is it because of his success in uniting this House under a shared vision for progress? Is it because his leadership has garnered respect and trust not just from his colleagues here, but from the Filipinos at large? Or is it simply because his integrity and competence stand as a stark contrast to those who thrive on baseless accusations and political theatrics? Mr. Speaker, this chamber must stand firm against attempts to tarnish the reputation of its leader. Speaker Romualdez has always conducted himself with honor and dedication. His track record of service speaks louder than any false accusation, and his commitment to the rule of law and public accountability remains unshaken. I have known you, Mr. Speaker, as a conscientious public servant. In the short span that you have discharged your duties as Speaker, I can honestly say that you have treated all of us fairly and that in all the conduct of affairs, you have always displayed decency, bearing, and character that bespeaks of a statesman. Through all the attacks and accusations that comes with a position, I see you always taking the high moral ground. By any measure, your calm and calculated bearing stand tall among all of us amidst all the crisis, a distinct trait that all leaders must possess. In closing, Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues and the Filipino people to focus on what truly matters. The Speaker's consistent efforts to build a stronger, more united, and more prosperous Philippines. Let us not allow baseless accusations to distract us from our shared mission of service to the nation. The Speaker has our trust, our confidence, and our unwavering support. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Ayan o. Congressman Barbers, ano? Talagang matindi po yung ano. Matindi po yung mga pahayag ng mga mambabatas.
Representative Robert S. Barbers, 2nd District, Surigao del Norte.
Meron pa yan eh. Hanggang siguro, tangin natin, meron isang babae dyan eh.
I move that we recognize the Honorable Rosana Ria V. Vergara of the 3rd District of Nueva Ecija to deliver her manifestation.
Yan o.
Representative Rosana
Iba-ibang lugar ang pinanggalingan.
3rd District, Nueva Ecija. You're recognized, ma'am. Please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I rise today to address and firmly refute the baseless and malicious accusations being spread that Speaker Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez is attempting to destroy the Vice President because of a supposed ambition to run for President in 2028. These claims are not only unfounded, but are an insult to the Speaker's character.
So, ayan o. Alam nyo, marami po yan. Masyadong hahaba siguro. Halos more or less ay nakuha naman nyo yung pinaka-highlights, pinaka-importanting mensahe po ng ating mga mababatas na may kasamang, alam mo na, may galit kanina nga. May matinding diin pa si Congressman Deputy Speaker JJ Suarez ng Quezon Province. Kaya ko po pinarinig ito sa inyo. Pwede po ninyong, please lang po, pwede po ninyong i-share, pwede po ninyong like, at pwede ninyong i-forward sa inyong mga kaibigan dito sa magitan po ng social media ang ganitong mga mensahe na nagpapataas ng moral at nagdideklara ng suporta hindi lang sa speaker, kung hindi sa liderato ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr. Kasi po yung sinabi ni Sara Duterte, talagang napakasakit po niyan sa mga Pilipino. Matatag lang si Pangulong Marcos, nalulungkot siya, nagagalit siya, nasasaktan at dahil kanyang pamilya, lalo na yung kanyang mga anak, pero hindi niya maipakita talaga yung tuluyang galit, matinding galit, kung hindi kanyang tinitimpi, kanyang tinitiis kasi siya ay Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas. Ayaw ni Pangulong Marcos na maapektuhan ang kanyang trabaho kasi napakaraming problema ng ating bansa na kailangang asikasuhin niya. So, kaya nagsalita na siya kahapon at sabi niya hindi niya palalampasin yung ginawang yan dahil nga po buhay niya, buhay ng kanyang asawa, First Lady. At maliban doon, siyempre, dinig na dinig ng mga anak eh. Congressman Marcos, anak niya yan, si Sandro. Tapos yung dalawang anak niyang binata. Hindi ho mga bata yun eh. Mga binata na po yun. Pagkatapos madidinig sa dati nilang ka-unity, dati nilang partner, kasama, noong eleksyon ng 2022. Tapos ngayon ang sinasabi nung dating kasama nila, na si Sara Duterte, ay buhay ng Pangulo ng kanyang ina at ng kanilang pinsan, uncle na si Speaker Romualdez. Ang gustong kunin. Actually, pinakukuha na. Meron ng inutusan. So napakasama po niya. So inuulit ko, ang ating Pangulo nagtitimpi lang pero nagsalita na kahapon na kanyang hindi palalampasin pero tuloy pa rin ang trabaho. Katunayan, lumipad ang Pangulo, nagpunta ng United Arab Emirates kasi mayroong working visit doon o state visit. Overnight lang, babalik din bukas. Ganun ka seryoso ang Pangulo sa trabaho, pero sa halip na tulungan ng mga Duterte, sa halip na tulungan itong pangalawang Pangulo, si Sara Duterte, yung buhay pa ang pinagtatangkaan. Kaya nga sabi ng Pangulo, tama na ang drama. Ipaliwanag nyo para matapos yan. Huwag nang idamay ang Sicilian. Di ba? Yan ang sabi ng Pangulo. So, inuulit ko, bago po nagkaroon ng mga deklarasyon ng support at minahingi pa ng investigasyon, thorough investigation ng mga congressman, meron silang inaproba na resolution. Resolution to support President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. Yan po. So, ibig sabihin ito, yung Kongreso ay nagdeklara ng suporta kay Pangulong Marcos. Hindi lang sa salita. Meron pang official resolution. So magandang balita ito. At marami po yan. Halos napakaraming congressman nagsalita. Pero pagka ating pinakinggan lahat, mahaba-haba po yan. 300 congressman yan eh. Although yung iba hindi sumali. Alam mo na kung bakit hindi sumali. Puro Duterte siguro. Pero ilan yun. So ito'y napakagandang balita. Kasi po, pag ang Malacanang ay inuuga-uga, pag ang Malacanang ay tinatangkang agawin ng ibang sektor ang kapangyarihan ng Pangulo, mahalagang-mahalaga ang ganitong suporta ng mga lider ng bansa, ang kinatawa ng mga distrito at ng mamamayan sa House of Representatives, House of the People. Ang nakakalungkot lang, ito na naman tayo. Nakakabingi, bingim-bingi na ang mga Pilipino sa katahimikan ng mga senador ng Republika ng Pilipinas. Ni walang resolution ang Senado, ni walang tumayo sa Senado para magdeklara ng support kay Pangulong Marcos. Yung iba nga ini-interview na, no comment pa. Yung iba ini-interview na, umiiwas pa. Yan ang ating mga senador. So bahala na kayo. Ang Philippine Congress binubuo ng upper and lower chamber, mataas at mababang kapulungan. Philippine Congress under 1987 Constitution. Pero ang ating naririnig na merong malasakit at merong pagmamahal sa ating Pangulo, bakit ang mababang kapulungan lang? Bakit ang Kongreso lang, Kamara lang, nasa ng Senado? So bahala na po kayo. Any comment, reaksyon sa isyong ito? Okay? Malaya po kayo. Basta makatao, di ang professional na mga comment, okay lang. Huwag kayong gagaya sa mga troll at saka po baser, wala po. Mga walang pinag-aralan yan. Mga kasama yan ng grupo ni Sara na sa halip na tumulong, naghanap pa ng masamang tao para kunin ang buhay ng ating Pangulo. Sila ho yung magkakasama, kaya huwag natin pansinin yan. Maraming matitino, matatalino, mayaman, may malasakit na Pilipino sa Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao at sa buong mundo. Okay? So, pansamantala, yan muna po yung ating pag-usapan sa tanghaling ito. Dito po, first time ulit tayo ngayon lang ulit tayo nakapag-live dito po sa MA Pinoy TV. So, paki-like, paki-share po ninyo para makarating sa buong mundo ang mga deklarasyon ng support sa ating Pangulo. Yun, okay na okay yun. Okay?